right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol IDX, Ideanomics Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And as we jump into this chart, I do want every single investor to be aware of the fact that I have a new ticker symbol to definitely add to your watch list. So stay tuned till the end of this video. It's part of the EV sector, and there's great potential moving forward with it. And we're going to talk about the chart, some of its article, and what niche that they're in within the EV sector, which makes them even more intriguing to definitely watch and keep on your radar. So let's jump into IDEX, and we'll talk more about that towards the end of this video. So IDEX had a run, right? Broke through resistance, reached newer highs, and it reached all the way up to 474. I want every single investor to keep that in mind. 474, very important moving forward, and we continue to see this upward trend, which is looking pretty healthy and showing potential gains to continue, which we want to watch it carefully every single time because it ends up in tug of war zone sometimes, and then sometimes it dips where it looks like the bears are starting to win. So we definitely want to watch it carefully, but it's been pushing itself up to newer highs as we zoom out since the 160 mark. We've been watching that very carefully, and it's just continued the upward trend. Now, the potential is there for this company, especially in the sector that they're in and so forth, and the market share that they can obtain, but we need to watch it carefully. So let's go ahead and move our resistance and support to its new location. And I want us to look at the 50-day moving average. The 50-day moving average is 409. We're currently at 436, so we're above it in bullish territory. If we fall below it, we'll be in bearish territory, so we want to keep that in mind. Now, our support level is 422. If that gets broken through, I highly suggest paying close attention to how this stock is reacting between 422 and the 50-day moving average, if the bears are tearing it down fairly fast, or are the bulls trying to reappear and bring it back up. So I want every single investor to be aware of that and pay very, very close attention to how the stock's reacting and how quickly is it moving to newer lows. Now, if it crosses the 50-day moving average and support, then the next support level is down here at 398. And I definitely would pay close attention to see if the bulls try to reappear by then, or are the bears just continuing to pull it down. But the first support level to pay close attention to within bullish territory is 422, and watch the behavior between the 50-day moving average and the support. Now, our resistance level is way up here. It's the highest point before this dip and pullback, and that's 467. Now, if that gets crossed, the highest point reached was 474, and that's what the bulls definitely want to break through. But before getting there, 467 needs to be broken through, and for 467 to be turned into a support, it shows signs that the bulls are working their way up to newer highs, newer resistance levels, and pulling further away from the 50-day moving average in the upward direction and continuing the momentum. Now, I want every single investor to be aware that 467 definitely needs to be broken through for this momentum to continue. If not, this could hang out sideways or try to get close to it and not break through it, which then is looking like a wall that needs to be broken through, or better said, a resistance level that's being rejected and not being broken through, and the 50-day moving average will catch up to the price, giving leverage to the bears at some point in the near future. So for this momentum to continue and for the bulls to pull away from the 50-day moving average so it doesn't catch up to it, the bulls definitely need to break through 467 and turn it into a support. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Stay tuned to the end because I have a new ticker symbol you won't want to miss, and you definitely want to have it on your watch list. So for everyone that has stayed to this point, the ticker symbol I'm about to share with you guys is definitely one you want to do more research on and you want to watch carefully. Now, it's in the EV sector and it focuses on a specific niche, and I've been watching it for a few days, and an article came out on Friday that gave me even more of a confirmation why this one's going to have potential in the long term. I'm not too quite sure how we need to play it out in the short term because it is kind of hyperinflated in a little bit, and it was going downwards and it just bounced back up. And I definitely want to recommend to every single investor, watch it carefully. So the ticker symbol is ACTC, ArcLight Clean Transition Corp. So here we are with how it reacted when the merger was announced. It went from $12 all the way up to $31. It started to pull back, and this pullback was looking healthy. Now it bounced right back up, and this could be the overall market reaction because the whole market had a slight jump, and it jumped $4, almost $3 and some change, $4 from the lows here. So right now it's sitting at 26.29, and I definitely recommend watching it if it breaks through 2050 and also 2015, right? 2215, excuse me. Those are the 2 points of support levels to watch carefully moving forward, and we want to see if this continues to pull downwards after this slight jump, or does it consolidate up here, and is it creating the anticipation leading towards the merger? Now, after the merger is something to watch as well. I've seen a lot of these mergers happen so far, and they actually start to have pullbacks as well afterwards. But in the long term, this is definitely a stock to keep in mind and watch carefully, because they have a large market share who ACTC is going to merge with. Let's see this article here. So this is the article that came out on Friday. Yesterday I was going to do videos, and I actually was going to do videos on Friday. I've had a few hiccups, and I apologize for that to every single viewer and investor, but I'm glad that I'm still able to proceed with this information, and it's still one to definitely watch and keep in mind. So when I saw this article from Investor's Place, the heading was why investors should pass on ArcLight for now. The key words here to me that stand out is should pass for now. And that's fine. You want to add it to your watch list though, and you want to keep an eye on it and see how it's reacting, because this sector has potential. And this is who they're merging with, Proterra. ArcLight has agreed to merge with Proterra. Well, now that they have agreed to do that, who you should do more research on is Proterra. Now, from what I've seen, they've been around for over 10 years, and they have a large market share in the niche that they do. And what do? They are an electric bus maker. Now, if you guys have seen Arrival and how things are happening in Europe, I could see Proterra being the one in the US market. That's the one in Europe market, Arrival. I could see Proterra being the one in the US market. I'm not sure if Arrival will arrive into the US market. For as long as it doesn't, Proterra has an upward, hand on this one. So over the long term, it basically says Proterra should do very well. That's a good sign. Now it talks about, the pandemic and so forth, why it's not recommended to buy ACTC anytime soon. Now, ArcLight has agreed to merge with Proterra. So when they say this anytime soon, but they say over the long term, it should do very well, and then I see should pass for now, it makes sense that this is the time to watch it. You really want to keep it on your radar and see how it moves. And now we have time to do due diligence as investors and research to know more about Proterra. So if anybody knows more than me or anything else, or wants to share any articles, or even this article, if you find it, you could post a link down below in the comments so that other investors are aware. But I would definitely start with this one, because just the beginning kind of throws you, the good and the bad. And then as you continue to read, it talks about the good and the bad, and all of a sudden the good outweighs the bad, because it tells you all the great things of Proterra and who they are and how they're working and what they plan on doing moving forward. Now, why do I see potential in this stock moving forward? And I'm not here to tell you guys to buy, sell, or hold any position in it, but I am here to enlighten you guys on adding this to your radar and keeping a close eye on it. Well, right now we are in the pre-merger, hype and stuff, and after the merger things might cool down again, and we need to see how far down it cools down, and also what's the anticipation leading into the merger. Now, why is this a great one? Well, the fact is that electric bus makers have a lot of potential just based off of the school system. Think about that nationwide. And then public transportation system. Think about that nationwide. There's enough to go around there for them to go ahead and make these buses and receive a lot of purchases and orders over time. So I look forward to how things continue to move, and especially with legislation being passed and going greener and EV becoming more of a norm rather than a luxury or taboo. It's going to change everything about the whole sector. And the fact that this focuses on a niche within the EV sector, which is electric bus makers, and this is one of them, and they have a large market share in that niche, I could see a lot of potential for this one. So definitely want to add to your watch list. ACTC, it's going to merge with Proterra. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, let's make some money.